Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them high roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Prophet to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it poppin'. We chillin' in the trap. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket. By any means I rock. This is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet.
Let's see. We will touch buttons now. There's a master button. Never touch the master button because it locks out everything. Okay. Hello. Biotech Breakout, Sniper Princess, Solid Gold, Gordon Bennett, CC Brown. Houday, what up? Let me say hello to everybody over here. I guess we could put on a little bit of that music. Let's see. This one comes with a mixing board, so we got to be able to do that. Wouldn't that be funny if that's the rights violation I keep getting? The one that comes with the Rode mixing system? Joe Fernandez. Me. Hello, me. Jerry. What up, Jerry? What's the word? Hoop and Tony. Jimmy James. Bitcoin Candy. Jim. Hello, Jim. Hello, Jim. Belinda. Sylvia. Patsy. Tube That Pipeline. Ella Paul. Brady. Oh, real quick, Brady, you know that even through the desktop app for Cosmos Station, you go delegate and then redelegate. They're trying to get people to delegate to different pools. JJ, what's up? City Marienko, what's up? Grace, Crypto for Life. Neil, Dubai Money, what up? Cyan Ablaze. It's probably a blaze. Cataclysmic Crypto, I like that. Oh, okay, that's you, JJ, got it. Bernard, James, Darting Uphill, Demayan, Tim, hello, Michael, Cross the Pond, Biotech Breakout, Lawrence, other Michael J, MJ, we'll have to say MJ, Adam, I get that a lot. Cool, and Belinda over on the other side, good. So hello to you, crypto peeps. I'm entertaining because you guys know I don't do this. We don't do this show for money. There shouldn't be any advertising. There will never be any advertising. The YouTube show is not to get paid. The YouTube show is so I can kind of hang out with this group of friends we've created, and maybe you won't make some of the same mistakes I made. Bold Mold, what up? Pablo, what's going on? All right, so, PSA. If you guys email me questions, if they're financial questions, I can't answer them. You know that, right? It's the same. Like I can be vague on these shows, and I can kind of say, hey, you can do whatever you want, but I would do this, I would do that. Jerry will tell you the same thing. Brady will tell you the same thing. We can't give you financial advice, right? Period. So all we can do is just kind of tell you what we're doing. And if it makes sense, maybe you would do some of those things. If you're one of my clients and we enter into an agreement where I'm consulting, which, hey, I am a material girl and it is a material world. There's a lot of people that are cheaper than me. I'm $800 an hour. And I'm guessing that for most people, that's not, comfortable. And that's fine because I cater towards high net worth and hedge funds and stuff like that and exchanges and all that kind of stuff. So just know that if you guys send emails, I can't respond. I try to sometimes say, hey, I don't know if I can blah, blah, blah. You'll get some of those vague answers. I'm not being dickish. We can't give you financial advice, period. Once you get it. Okay, cool. So in the future, if you send me an email and it's asking for specific financial advice, I can't answer. That's it. And Megapack, you didn't lose anything on AGIX because you haven't sold yet. And if you've been in it for a while, you got the SDAO airdrop, which when it went from 20 cents to $6, you did a 30X on it. I don't know how you lose money with a 30X. So just take your time. You can be, if you're trying to sell, if you're trying to flip or trade these tokens, you're going to be up or down from day to day. If you bought Bitcoin last night at the all-time high, guess what? You're down right now. So you guys got to think. All right. Yes, Jerry, listen, if the $800 an hour is outside of your wheelhouse, talk to Jerry. Jerry is much more affordable. And you know what? Jerry smiles more. I curse more. So give and take. Shada, Joe Pirate, Stress Relief. Good to see you. Tigabil? Tigabil? Not sure what that one is. Fishing Magician. What up? Scorpion. And Scorpion is cheaper than Jerry. So listen, look, apparently money management is a zero-sum game. Someone's going to offer you like $8 an hour. Tiffany, Patrick. Okay, let's see. Jim, yes. And let me see. I want to make sure. Did I get you, Neil? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. If I missed you, by all means, say, hey, man, you missed me, bro. Okay. So my lady A decided to join. Yeah, it's been interesting. Okay. So good. So we got the little publicly hide current comment. Why would I hide it? What a weird thing. Hide current comment. I wonder what that. Oh, am I bullish with NewNet? Ooh, okay. Yes, this is a good question, which we're going to get into. I purposely left a lot of space for us to talk about a variety of things today. So we're going to spend about half an hour doing Q&A, but I did have a couple of things. As you guys know, I spent some time on a yacht this weekend with a few people, some exchange people, some crypto bigwigs, and I learned a lot. And most of it was good. And there were a lot of different people there. So I learned a lot of interesting things. Always these events, these networking events, I'm not a big fan of. I typically don't like to go out and rub airbows because you can't touch, right? So you have to rub, you have to like, almost touch or whatever. But I'm not a big fan of people. Anybody that lives in LA knows, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of people. I don't like being around groups of people. I don't really care to. I, as often as possible, turn down any engagements where it requires me to do anything other than go to the coffee shop or go to the gym. If you're asking me to do anything beyond that, there has to be a paycheck involved. Do you want to go to? Nope. It should be ... for X amount of currency units paid in Bitcoin. Then, well, go on. I'm all ears. Go on. But yeah, I'm a material girl and it is a material world. I just turned down going to the Angel conference or something like that. Ooh, free airfare and all this kind of crap. I don't care. I live in LA, bro. Why do I want to go to Austin? I live in Los Angeles. I can go to the beach in 10 minutes. The beach, the real one, the one that all the postcards have pictures of, that one. I can go there in 10 minutes. I can be in a mountain in 10 minutes. I can be in the desert in 15 minutes. So yeah. And yes, Hoop and Tony, I will go to the gym for you. Anyway, Trofimov, good to see you. Let's see. Did I miss anybody there? Cool. All right. I think I got, Tony. Hello, Tony. All right. Brandon, what's going on? Yes, there will only ever be 21 trillion Jerry coins. Okay. So let me do some banner adjustment. Boop. Let's talk about, we're going to talk about, let me go for these non-commercial breaks. We'll be right back. That's my Samote, by the way. He's super badass. Let me show you. By the way, there's all sorts of cool Samote stuff coming. Staking and a new token. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say both of those things. Yeah, I can say that. Both staking, you'll be able to stake starting like late this week, I think. You'll be able to stake your Samotes, which whitelists you for other NFT drops. And you're going to get paid tokens, which you can use for all sorts of other cool stuff. They're generating a token against this. You're starting to see DeFi and versions of finance. I won't even say DeFi. You're starting to see financial products melt their way into the non-fungible token space. Everything will bleed across everything. So anyway, I like this dude. He's super cool. He is, back it out. Let me show you which number he is. Shogun. So that's the Shogun kind of dude, but it's the one with Medusas. So I like it because he's got like, I think that's the Parthenon or whatever, the decaying, whatever. And he's got the Medusas and he's got a gold chain, which is so badass. And he or she or they, I don't know if we can determine. It's kind of like Hello Kitty where no one really knows. And you guys know like Hello Kitty is not a kitty, right? It's a little girl with a kitty suit. So anyway, yeah, Hello Kitty is a costume. Okay. Anyway, so this is my smoke, and this is my favorite of the 4 different characters. So I kind of collect these, and it's got the little Medusas, and which is kind of badass. So anyway, that's my new favorite. So yeah, so there you go. Okay, we'll get into some other stuff. Let's go to our non-commercial break. We'll be right back, and we'll get into the guts. And I'm going to tell you guys how to game the Abra airdrop of the CPRX token. And yeah, I think that'll be kind of fun. Okay, for those of you, yeah, it's coffee, bro, from Steve's Coffee Roaster, Sherman Oaks, California. If you get coffee anywhere else, it won't be good. No, that's not true. It won't be as good. I don't know if it'll be good or not. Let me say hello, Euphrates. Let me know if I said that right. J Ben, what up? And let me also say hello to Girl Pilot, to 901 Onion. That's kind of funny. Frank, what's up? Expat Matt, what's going on? Legeo, and of course, Jared. Yeah, I know, right? How dare you? Okay, so let's go. Let me go to the other button. See, the shows we do on Money Map are a lot cleaner. Why? Because Eric is a really good producer and I am not. Okay, one day I'll be rich enough to have a producer for the free show. See, Jerry got a producer for his free show. That's how you know Jerry, and Brady are ballers. Okay, Unsung, what's going on? Orangutan Z, what's going on? So hello to everyone. Good. Okay, let's get the guts of the show going. Jasnock, hello. So here's what's going on. Let's look at these markets. Yes, you know, Bitcoin hit the Bitcoin took an all-time high yesterday. It was around 67.8, 67.9, depends on the exchange. Some of the lower liquidity exchanges popped a little bit higher, but we don't really count those. I think the aggregate was somewhere around 66.8. 67.8. So we're down a little bit from that, but still pretty good bump. And now everybody's like, because of this, Plan B's, he's planned for $1 gazillion Bitcoin is still in play. Stop. Okay, first of all, everyone, stop. Plan B does not have a map for the future of Bitcoin. Plan B does not know what the price is. If you talk to Plan B, he will tell you. People have run really far with this in the wrong way. The charts don't predict the price. The charts show a potential direction of an asset that is maintained by a handful of sketchy investors on illiquid exchanges. Okay. So you have to understand that it's the idea that if you had an asset with a completely fixed supply and that the desire to purchase or own the asset was consistent, that if you cut the supply in half, the price will go up and to the right. That's the thesis. Okay. Now, when you're seeing a new forming market, a lot of these things can look similar. So you look at Apple stock, you look at Amazon stock. Suze, what's up? Cataclysmic Crypto, what's up? When you look at these things starting to move, you can start to see ghosts. You can start to see things that aren't really there. Please don't And again, go listen to Plan B. He himself will tell you this is a potential trajectory based on an asset with a constant and relatively fixed desire to own. So for instance, you have a certain amount of buyers, just a consistent buying emphasis, right? Let's say that you could measure them both, in numbers, that you have a one as constant buying, right? And then you have a supply that gets cut in half every 4 years. So based on a shrinking supply with a constant demand, then you should see an upward price movement that is stock to flow, right? Be very careful that you don't start to believe the myth that means Bitcoin is a lot of things other than this weird kind of nascent asset. And it's also not a lot of things that a lot of people are saying it is. Bitcoin is not a currency. Hyper Bitcoinization may occur, but not because Bitcoin functions as a currency. It is right now a good store of value. It's amazing. Is it the only one? We don't know yet. It's the most consistent one. And we also know that pretty much every day, the best 2 days to own Bitcoin were January 3rd, 2009, and every single day after that. Period. Full stop. Al, what's going on, Al? Good to see you, buddy. And Phil, what's up? So I would just urge people to dial down the maxi enthusiasm. And I say this because I heard it from someone that I thought had a keen grasp on markets, that knew the difference between currency and money. I'm not going to say who it was, but I promise you it was someone that should know the difference. And it's not like a member of the community. It's someone that manages an exchange. And that's all I'm going to say. I spent about 2 hours with them. And what I've learned is that maybe there is a lot of embedded, indoctrined Bitcoin maximalist belief. I don't like, and no, it wasn't at the Abra thing. It was somebody else. It was later on. It was at an event put on by Abra, but it wasn't an Abra person. It was somebody that pushes a lot more currency units than Abra pushes. And that was a little scary to me. I don't like any maximalist beliefs at all, because there are no absolutes, not just in the crypto space, but in life. Everything is shades of gray. Professor, what up? There are just all these shades of gray. And I would just urge everyone to try to audit your own thought process. Make sure that you're not buying into these, these beliefs that sound great and they're fun. It becomes no different than religion. And Bitcoin, cool, but it's not a religion. Crypto, cool, but it's not a religion. I'm going to tell you this. I believe in 1 year's time, maybe 18 months, Bitcoin will be maybe a top 5 token. Maybe. It may be a top 10 token. I don't think it'll be the number 1 token. Now, a lot of people would hear that and go, what do you say? Oh, you're going against the church. You'll be brought up on charges. We're going to float you. Like the witches. Like if a witch would float, then attach a bunch of stones, throw you in the water, and you drown. And they're like, oh, well, it wasn't a witch, because a witch would have floated. I will be floated, most likely. I will continue to talk down on the projects I think are scammy and the people in the industry I think are scammy. If you all of a sudden see me, like on one of these other shows that I do, switch my tune without a lot of facts to back it. Like if I suddenly go pro Solana, by the way, look up 12 million tokens stolen by, Google 12 million tokens stolen by Solana devs. Don't take my word for it. This stuff is gold. Just go look it up, right? I got booted out of the Render. Oh, let me tell you about this. I got booted out of the Render group yesterday. Render has a Telegram. They booted me because one of their big news announcements was, we're partnering with Solana. So I just vented my frustration. I said, of all the companies you could have partnered with, that is probably the most dangerous one other than Tron, right? I immediately got booted. And then the admin that kicked me out of the group Again, for simply asking, why would that be your partnership? Of all the partnerships, why would a Solana partnership be the one for Render? Which is now how I know that NewNet is going to absolutely donkey stomp Render. But I'm not stupid. There's still a lot of gains to be made because there's a lot of rubes that are all just being sucked into the Solana marketing machine. And that's what it is. It is a Solana marketing machine. It is weak developers that have already been caught stealing. I'm not making this up. Go look it up. They got caught stealing about 12 million tokens. And then they said, oh, well, yeah, our fault. They had to admit it because blockchains, we can see all this stuff. So what did? They said, oh, well, we're going to burn those. We're going to burn those tokens. They burnt like 3 million of them and they never mentioned it again. So they just pocketed like 9 million tokens. No big deal though, right? No big deal. Sam Bankman-Fried is a marketing machine. Yes. And he's a good marketer. I'm not, I'm taking a different look at this. As a marketer, great. Go and spend all that money that you could be spending making the world a better place, feeding people in impoverished nations, helping people get cured of very curable diseases while they die on the, out in the street. Instead of doing those things, it does make more sense to, sponsor Matt Damon and Tom Brady and all this. Oh, well, no, Matt Damon was crypto.com, which is another scammy facility. So Bankman-Fried is a marketer, and he's a fine marketer. He's a fine marketer. And I don't think he's a thief. Okay. CZ's a thief. We're clear on that. Cool. Tron, Justin Sun, a marketer. You know what? Bankman Fried Chicken is out Justin Sunning Justin Sun. He's out marketing Tron. That's gotta hurt a little bit. That's gotta sting a little bit. Well, it would if Justin wasn't made a billionaire on an absolute scam project, because folks, Tron is a scam. Tron is just a copy of Ethereum. They literally plagiarize parts of the Bitcoin white paper. At least Solana is a different dumpster fire. Untested, not quality devs that absolutely provably will steal from you, because they have. And the first time this thing was turned on, it absolutely melted. All these agreements, all these partnerships, they don't mean anything if you have untested, sketchy software. Sketchy code is sketchy outcomes. What do you guys think happens when they start running these big giant DeFi pools and there's tons of liquidity? You don't think people are going to come pilfer this proof of time bullcrap? They are going to smoke this thing. This thing is going to get big, and it is going to get absolutely effing gutted. And you're going to see a liquidity pool get hit for 40, 50, 100, $150 million over and over until there's nothing left. But cool, if you like it, go deep, bro. Now, do I think that proof of history, kind of proof of time thing is irrelevant? No, because all of these consensus mechanisms, they may have all sorts of cool value. Like, I don't think proof of work is garbage. I think proof of work incentivizes a certain kind of behavior in certain industries, mining companies and things like that. It causes a coalescence of assets, yada, yada. You can do the game theory, but it's not like it's terrible. Proof of work isn't terrible. It just, on its own, it probably serves a certain type of market proposition. So proof of work is cool. I don't hate proof of work, right? It works very well for Bitcoin. Game theoretical system, it's very high functioning, and it's incredibly stable, if a little slow. That won't work for, most of the infrastructure plays moving forward. Most people that don't like proof of stake, they don't understand it. They just don't understand it. They think, oh, it's a bunch of rich people. And what do you think proof of work is? Do you think that Bitmain and Canaan mail out crypto miners? You just fill out a form and they just mail them out to the whole world because they want a decentralized mining complex? No, bro. You have people that buy tons of mining rigs, co-locate them in areas with low electricity costs, and then they partner up with other mining concerns. And then pretty soon you have 3 mining pools that run all of Bitcoin. Well, that's about what's going on. Does that sound decentralized? Everybody says, well, there's individual units. Yeah, but they're all in these big giant blobs managed by 3 entities. Does that sound decentralized? 3 is 3 decentralization. I mean, not really, bro. If you want to be honest, Bitcoin maxis don't like that discussion. And then they revert. And again, don't be maximalist. It won't do you any good to be maximalist. Doesn't make any sense. So proof of stake, a lot of the proof of work clan, the religious ideologues, I don't like proof of stake because rich people, it's there. No, bro, that's a simpleton's way of looking at a very complex system. This has been thought about, and mostly by Cardano, because it's right now the most widely spread, staked, most decentralized. Nothing's purely decentralized, but is the most decentralized proof of stake consensus mechanism protocol there is. And if you look at that, there are all sorts of, little valves and gaps and things put in place so that simply having a bunch of tokens doesn't mean you control everything. But check this out. In the long run, what are people that are saying, I don't like proof of stake? Let's say proof of stake was simply the more tokens you have, the more power you have. Isn't that common effing sense? If I own 20 units in a 30-unit apartment complex and we have an HOA, shouldn't I have 2/3 of the vote as to what money is spent on by the HOA? I mean, let's reduce it. If we are to have some kind of free and floating market, like the idea of decentralization doesn't mean loss mitigation and gain socialization. It doesn't mean no one wins and we spread out and we socialize all the wins and losses so that everyone's equal all the time. I think that maybe some of the I deserve it too kind of mentality, this entitled, this kind of thing. I don't want to work. I want to sit at home and just collect a check. And, I'm 8 years late to crypto, but I want to catch up now. F you, bro. You don't deserve to catch up. You missed 8 effing years of crypto. You think you get to get here for 6 minutes and you get to catch up? You're not, no one here, sorry to say it, me included, we're not going to catch the Winklevi. They own 400,000 Bitcoin. We missed it, bro. Sorry, we're not going to catch up. I just want to make some quick gains. You don't deserve those gains. I don't either. I wasn't here. My brother was here 2010, 2009. I was not. I don't deserve what he got. I don't even look back and with regret. I don't even say, oh, I wish I would have. That's stupid. I don't wish I would have. If I wish I would have, I would have, right? I should have. You should have. You would have. That's silly. So this expectation, so how proof of stake, oh, well, proof of stake, just the rich people get. Okay, is it bad that the people that have the most to gain from the token appreciating, from the ecosystem expanding, is it bad that they have a bigger say than the person that has one token that came in 13 seconds ago? I'm sorry that if you're late to the game, you feel like you got left behind. Guess what? You got left behind. I don't know what to tell you. You didn't buy. That's like going and saying, I want to buy Amazon stock, but I wanted it $6 like the other people got it. I want it like $6 like 20 years ago. I don't want to pay the price now. I feel like I got left behind. You did get left behind, dummy. It is what it is. Like common sense. I want the world to be decentralized, but I don't want anybody to win without me. If I'm winning, it's cool, but I wasn't here in time to win. So it's not fair that other people that were here first, that have more token exposure, that have more currency in us, they have a bigger say than me. What about my voice? Your voice is one token, dummy. Like this, I deserve it mentality, it's got to go away. Well, or it doesn't, or it stays, and it's easy to trade against these people. It's easy to invest against these people. Arthur, what's up, man? Good to see you. So I just urge everyone, and this goes along with maximalist thinking. Why? Because it's easy. It's easy to be religious. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon or grab a party. Why do you think there's only a few hundred people that Jerry and I really, if we're being honest, Jerry and I probably communicate with a few hundred people a week through this show. Yeah, the Money Map show, it could be 100,000 a week. It's a big group. I have like 1,500 in the chat live every day, right? That's different. And then the replays go out to thousands and thousands of people. That's different. This right here, how come do you think so few people tune in? This isn't religion. We're heretics. pretty much. And I would urge you, one of the ways I made a lot of currency units was by being a heretic, just looking at people that are embedded in these religious maximalist beliefs. And this is in the gold business too. This isn't just crypto. This is in gold and everything. Quit marrying these companies. Quit marrying these CEOs. And these dudes aren't your friend. They don't care about you. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, they're not your friend. None of these people are your friend. They're trying to do good for themselves. Everyone asks when presented, listen, that's weird. We're going to get rid of that. Everyone asks, when presented with any kind of scenario, any kind of challenge, can I do it? And what's in it for me? Can I do it? And what's in it for me? So, we need to dial down the obsessive maximalist behavior in any asset. Even the stuff that we think is good, you still got to be reasonable. And if you become more reasonable, then you're open. And then you see these things for what they are. Bitcoin is not a panacea to fix the world. It will offer people an opportunity to park some of their assets out of the system. At least right now it's out of the system, but as it becomes more corporate and shows up on more corporate balance sheets, it starts to vacillate, similar to the debt and credit and business cycles and quarterly cycles and reporting and all this. It starts to look a lot more like a corporate asset, which will behave like corporate assets, right? But it does present people an opportunity. And what is the motivation? Look at, you show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcomes. Charlie Munger. Okay. Are corporates and balance sheets and traders and money managers and fiduciaries, are they incentivized to keep pumping the price by investing, by parking, by a variety of mechanisms, the price of Bitcoin, because they hold it on their balance sheet? Yes, of course. And will people try to go against that and quagmire the market to make a little money and secretly short and do all these shenanigans? Yes, because that's game theory. Everyone's looking for an edge. So it is, bro. It just is. I did not watch the Orleans Invest conference. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Should you use Coinbase to buy Cardano? You could, Arthur. Use Coinbase Pro, I would urge you, just because you save on the fees. Now, when you're looking at these assets, if you can dial out the religion, if you can dial out the maximalist behavior, then you can start to see where these things should fit on your balance sheet, because everybody here is your own fiduciary. You are responsible for your own currency units, and that is all. Okay? And I urge you, don't leverage other people, right? And if you are leveraging other people, it should be like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Not what are you doing? Period. Right? So I would just say, looking at Bitcoin, why would you own Bitcoin? Because it's a great store of value right now and has been performing quite well over the last 13 years. Matter of fact, so well that it is the best performing asset in human history over the last 13 years. Well, it's the best performing asset in human history, period. So that's awesome. However, you have these other assets that have a larger token count, a larger mint. Now, real quick on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, 21 million, right? About 6 million have been lost. That's not completely genuine. A better way to say it is 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis, because a Bitcoin represents 100 million Satoshis. So that's important too. Don't buy into the myth, the ethos. There's only ever going to be nothing. There's 2.1 quadrillion potential Satoshis, of which about 600 trillion have been lost Satoshis. So if we're going to apples to apples, let's apples it. Okay. Then you look at Ethereum, which again, there's 114-ish. We don't know because of the state problems in Ethereum, but with the 114-ish, 115-ish, 118-ish million tokens that can be subdivided down. So there's many more units. Well, when you have many more units, right? You can expand that market cap faster. Each $1 into that system expands the market cap by that multiple, right? If there's 5 times as many Ethereum units, then $1 is actually worth $5 that would have to go into Bitcoin. So you see where this is going. And that's why you have a scenario where people say the flippening. Could Ethereum? Of course, it likely will. The problem with Ethereum is it runs up against the wall of utility where the fees make using, Ethereum almost impossible. And that's kind of where we're at. It's really bad. It's so bad that even people with money have started to scale back on certain things because they're like the Ethereum fees. You guys remember 2 weeks ago, we talked about someone was participating in a token sale. I think it was an NFT. No, sorry. It was a regular token sale, a coin offering. And they paid $450,000 US in Ethereum fees. And the transaction didn't go through. And they paid another $100,000 to cancel it. So, wait, hold on. That deserves a, doesn't it? Dear God. So that's Ethereum's problems, but price action is not one of them. And there's a lot of reasons. I won't get into all that, but there's a lot of reasons why Ethereum keeps going up. As an investment, it keeps going up. And there's a lot of bad or flawed game theory behind that. You have your Raoul Pals and the Real Visions, flawed game theory. Doesn't matter. It doesn't, Jerry and I were talking about the other day. I think it was, when was it, Jerry? Was it Saturday? WWDD. 5% of your thought process should be WWDD. What would dummies do? Now, you don't want to go down that thought path too long because you'll start, if you walk with lames, you'll pull up a limp. But it is reasonable to try to wonder, what will dummies do? Because dummies do a lot. And I don't mean dummies to mean unintelligent. You can be a dummy if you just don't have the facts. You can be a dummy if you've done poor research or just haven't done any research. Yes. Yeah, it's not quite Shiba. Dubai Money, it's not quite Shiba because you have, hundreds of trillions and all that. And what Shiba is appealing to the lowest common denominator. Shiba was simply made as an FU to Dogecoin. And guess what? It's been a good FU because all the Doge people are pretty quiet right now. So, hey, I guess it worked. I'm not participating in all that because that's a different mindset. Emmanuel, what's up? But you should spend about 5 minutes out of every 100 and think, looking at the markets right now, what would dummies do? What would dummies do right now? Because they're doing it. Yeah. Mark Cuban is such a dick. Matter of fact, pretty much anything he says, and this is the funny thing, he jumps on the bandwagon. He just looks and jumps on a bandwagon and jumps on another bandwagon and jumps on another bandwagon. The problem is, by the time Mark Cuban says it, it's a failed bit. Now, I think if he keeps making guesses, because everything he's touched has turned to absolute dumpster juice, but if he keeps making guesses, he's bound to say Bitcoin. He's bound to say, right, like Ethereum now. Ethereum is the next Bitcoin. You know what the next Bitcoin is? Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Yeah, I know, God. How many, Travis, I wish people would look at that. Look at how, by the way, Travis was one of the pretty cool people that I met out on the boat. But look at the list. Look at the panoply of failed things that Mark Cuban talks about. And he's responsible for hoovering up a fair amount of capital, not to himself, mind you, just giving it back to the universe through stupidity and flawed. And you guys all saw this on CNBC. Look up Mark Cuban bananas, CNBC, where it was like a year and a half ago. Cuban is not a scammer, Arthur. Cuban is an idiot. But he's not a scammer, and he actually means well. Mark Cuban is not a bad guy. I have met Mark Cuban on many occasions when I was in Dallas obviously, similar circles, whatever. Mark Cuban is a very nice guy. He's a very humble guy. So let me say this. As a human, Mark Cuban is dope. He is a good dude. He's just an idiot. It is what it is. I'm not a nice guy, but I am not an idiot. Mark Cuban is a nice guy, but is also an idiot. You can't have it all. He's a good dude. He's done some really good things in and around Dallas and for the NBA and just for some other stuff. That doesn't make him a bad guy. But when he makes certain recommendations, when he's over his skis, so to speak, and he makes certain recommendations and gets all of his buddies involved and they, lose, $1.5–2 billion, maybe you should step back. Maybe you need to step back and say, have I done net good or net bad in the space? When he was telling everyone to get into Dogecoin, it was 74 cents. It's not 74 cents now. When he told everyone to get involved in Titan, I think it's zero now. So anyway, as a store of value, it's a wonderful asset. But what's the next Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin. Now, if you're talking about the layer one discussion, okay, let's get into layer ones. Let's talk protocols. What's going on? Ethereum touching all-time highs. It makes the fees ridiculous. It's impossible to use, but that doesn't matter. The token's doing just fine. Cardano, it's been in the doldrums. Arguably, it's basically flat on the month. Why? Well, it had a big move the first part of the year. I mean, we're still up almost a 21x on the year. Take your portfolio, times it by 21. So yeah, Cardano's done fine. And it's $1 off of its all-time high. Cardano's not trying to win a foot race. They don't care about the price. The people over at IO, I really don't think they care. It's not propaganda. It's not, thin words. It's not marketing. They don't give a crap about the price of the token. They're trying to create financial identity and sovereignty in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, Central and South America. All these places that are very mineral rich, that have been pilfered by big governments forever, right? These governments love when these, let's face it, if we're being honest, America, Russia, China, Britain, France, the Spaniards, they kind of like constant turmoil, civil war, chaos, poverty, pestilence, famine in these countries, because then they can go in to help and they can pilfer. And that's what's been happening for hundreds of years. So the team at IO and the giant, it's a big team. They said, what if we could create a system, almost a turnkey governance as a service system, where we could onboard nations to onboard their citizens? Wouldn't that be interesting to give people first identity, digital identity, then medical recording, then you can go to financial identity, then you can absorb these people onto a system where they can share information and share data and get credit availability. Then they can build and expand businesses. Then you can launch nation assets. You can even launch ghost monies when it's appropriate, right? There might be time to spin up, like if there's a flood or there's some kind of cataclysmic event, to spin up a local currency to provide for some kind of welfare, some kind of direct to person stimulus for a short amount of time to help some impoverished group or whatever, and then wind the currency back down. Ghost currencies, they've been doing it forever. Go listen to Making Sense with Emil Kalinowski and Jeffrey Snyder, and they'll tell you all about it, right? So there's all sorts of cool things you can do when you create a system that governments can roll out, and they can get everyone on board, and they can create national identity systems and medical recording and student IDs and school records. Does it make any sense that a guy who has a degree, an advanced degree in particle physics in Nigeria is working as an effing taxi driver in New York? Why? Because you can't get, your school records, this, that. We don't accept this, that. That's garbage, dude. That is a waste of brain power. I'm not saying that everybody that has an advanced particle physics degree should be going to New York. I'm just saying this is a scenario that happens a lot with immigrants. They are way more intelligent, way more educated than their job would show, which sucks because that's the waste of brain power. And we need that brain power contributing to the greater good. We don't get it. So think about that. Of every $100 in Africa, just take the continent, only $2 is unlocked, meaning only $2 is actually in, the process of moving around, Adam Smith's invisible hand, all this kind of stuff. If Cardano and other, companies that go into Africa and Central and South America can unlock all of that locked currency, locked potential, locked utility, locked brain power, what kind of value proposition is that? Then you're not talking about a $2 Cardano. When's it going to go to $3? You're talking about something so massive that it's hard to quantify. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking at something that can make the world a better place. And also, because I'm a material girl and this is a material world, I kind of like the idea of appreciating my balance sheet with the appreciation of an asset that has a very philanthropic purpose. You can feel good and get rich at the same time. Those aren't diametrically opposed. It doesn't make you a dickhead to make money on good things. There's all sorts of, very specific types of investing that are just all about doing good, doing social good, social investing, right? Investing for social good. There's all these kind of, green initiatives and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that that everything I do is philanthropic. That's certainly not the case, right? I'm a weird mixture of, greed and altruism, like we all are. Just saying. I like the idea of Cardano for what they're trying to do. I also like Polkadot. We've been beating the drum on Polkadot since it was $3. Why? Because Gavin Wood, bro, is the dude that wrote Solidity. Everybody's like, Vitalik. Vitalik didn't write Solidity, folks. Go do your research. Vitalik didn't write the programming language for Ethereum. That was Dr. Gavin Wood, Solidity. So he's gone and done something different after the blow up in 2016-ish on the beach. And Vitalik said, repatriate the investors. And Gavin and Charles said, nope, we're out. Boo! And that was it. That was the end of the original team. And Charles said, I'm going to go and look at this differently. If we were to do this right, if we were to start over right now with what we know, and we had a principles first, a formal methods based, use the academics, use the universities, appreciate the idea of peer review, and we push forward with this, what would we achieve? And that's Cardano, Polkadot, Dr. Gavin Wood. It's not like some rando dude. It's not like those hacks over at Solana. I'm a senior software. Shut up. Dr. Gavin Wood is legit. He said, okay, I get it. There's some problems. The state problem in Ethereum, it's bad. Having smart contracts embedded into the kind of fundamental layer, probably also bad for a quagmire of reasons. So what if we did it different? What if we didn't run smart contracts on the main layer? What if we let all of the chains, all of the parachains around the relay chain, what if they were the ones that process transactions? We can keep the parachain, the kind of parachain ecosystem. They'll run smart contracts. The relay chain will remain elegant and clean. Okay, cool. It's a different take on it. Did they borrow some things like Ouroboros from Cardano research? Yes, but you know what? Best form of flattery. Copying. Gavin's not an idiot. There is a reason why really, really smart people, they leverage other really smart people's research. They don't say, well, let's just do something completely different so that we're completely different so that we can sell a token. That's not progress, bro. So anyway, I'm very interested in what now, bearer of bad news. You guys may or may not know, we Americans cannot participate in the Polkadot, in the individual auctions, through like Kraken. They originally said, we're going to have this platform, and yeah, they have it, but not if you're an American. Also, you'd have to lock your tokens up for 2 years. That's the lease. That's the term of the lease for Polkadot. Two years is a lot. And I thought, it would make sense because you're going to have some good projects that come out of there, some 100Xs and stuff like that. I still believe that. But I will not be doing that, and I will not be circumventing and trying to be clever about it. I believe this is the universe telling me to own Polkadot. Why? Because as other people take their Polkadot and submit it to these staking contracts for these other tokens. So the way it works is the parachain auctions, you take your Polkadot and you go and park it with these auctions, and you're there for the entire 24-month lease. Now, at the end of it, the companies shower you with their tokens. Cool, bro. And it's just because of a variety of regulatory reasons, Arthur. That is why we don't get to participate. But that's going to take a lot of Polkadot out of circulation. So now you have Polkadot staking, taking Polkadot out of circulation. Staking with the different parachains during these auctions, during these lease periods, that's taking a lot. We will be able to look at the Polkadot that's floating around. Movie Rants, what's up, man? We'll be able to look at the ecosystem and say, wow, look at all the tokens that don't exist. Now, that's going to create a very volatile space. Okay? That's going to create a very volatile space, but it should make some big moves up and some big moves down. And you know what I like? Eventually, there's going to be options markets wrapped around Polkadot, which means there'll be tons of option premium to scrape, because if you're an options seller, you love volatility, because volatility puts huge premiums on those contracts. In the bigger the premium, that propagates its way down to the shorter term, assets. Anyway, just keep that in mind. Okay. Other things that are interesting. There isn't anything else that was just super, flummox interesting. The render thing, great. They pumped and now they're starting to dump again. Good. It's a little bit over its skis. I think NewNet will out render, but render is still a good, position. We've done good on render. Okay. I think Cody is being ignored a little bit too much. I think in my opinion, it's undervalued. So I'm probably going to I'll be adding to Cody. I will, of course, because I keep adding, I will be adding AGIX. Yes, the exchange fees suck, but that's not an AGIX thing. It's an Ethereum thing. Ethereum fees are high to transfer on the network. Now, let's talk about the game theory of the Abra token. Well, the difference was copying the way Tron copied. They literally copy and pasted parts of the white paper and then tried to put it off as their own research. So those are different terms, aren't they? So one of them is kind of intellectual property infringement, and the other one is, hey, I like the way you outrun that quarterback with that slant. I'm going to try that slant. Or I like the way you throw that football. Or I like the way, this or that. That's a little bit different than copy and paste and submitting it as your own text. If I take Dr. Ben Gortzel's last paper and copy and paste it and put my name at the top, that is not flattery. That's disingenuous, illegal behavior. That's the difference. What Tron did was illegal, but in the early days of crypto where no one really seems to care. And then what Justin did was said, yeah, but let's just get past this. Quit focusing on my plagiarism. What? Your whole platform is a joke, dude. No, but let's get past this. We can't it's like you go in someone's house and their wife is dead on the floor under the carpet, and she's like just a big thing in the carpet. You're like, what is that? That's my wife. Like, well, you murdered your wife. Yeah. Let's get past this. Come on. Let's go to the garage. I'm not going to the garage with you. Crazy. Crazy. Residency, yes. But citizenship takes like 14 years. And no, I would never become a citizen of France. Nope. No, bro. If I was going anywhere, I'm going south. Okay. It would be Puerto Rico first. If I really wanted to exit, it'd probably be further south. My Mexican is very good and I don't have to protect too many people. So kidnapping is not a huge worry for me. All right. But if I had a wife and kids, that would probably be different. All right. Okay. Let's talk about let's talk about gaming Abra. Not gaming, but game theory. Here's how it be. The token CPRX. So some of the parties that we were at, Travis and myself and these other people, was the launch of this new token. And the idea, and let me see if I can put a little, just so that people can later come and find this and know what we're talking about. How to get CPRX token on Abra. Okay, what is Abra? Abra is a lending platform that will also have some exchange functionality. They will also eventually, in my opinion, now I haven't said this, but in my opinion, they're going to become a full service bank, which makes sense. Coinbase wants to be a bank. Nexo wants to be a bank. Kraken wants to be a bank. Guess what? Everybody wants to be a bank. Banks make money out of thin air, literally. So yeah, bro, of course. Now, would crypto banks be better where you can just use your own assets, collateralize your own loans, and off you go? Credit scoring doesn't even mean anything. Yeah, that'd be way better. So look at Nexo and what Nexo has done. They've done a lot. Look at the performance of their token. That's the only proxy we have. Well, let's look at their token. Okay. And again, it's not quite apples to apples because CPRX is not owned or minted by Abra. They've been given an allocation, and that's actually a better thing. But to keep it simple, 560 million of these things, total supply is billion. This is for Nexo, not Abra, for Nexo. Okay, now, what has the Nexo token done in 1 year? One year. It's done 1,900. It's done a 20x, bro. It's done a 20x, 20 times your money. If you were early in Nexo, you did really good. These exchange tokens do really good. Okay. Go look at BNB's garbage token that they burn all the time. That I don't like the whole burn thing. And I think that's sketchy behavior. And that's typically people that don't understand economics that are just looking for a quick paycheck. But, as you go through and look at the exchange tokens, that's the closest proximal kind of value. Look at the KuCoin token. It touched an all-time high last night. It's up like a 25x on the year. Look at even Bitru's garbage token. That thing's gone from like 3 cents to, almost $1 on several occasions. It's done a 20 or 30x. These exchange tokens do well. They are a proxy for the success of these exchanges. Abra is a better Nexo. Now, does it pay the higher rates? No. They pay the rates they can pay, and they make up the difference with their CPRX token that they've been allocated. Okay, so let me reduce all this to give you something to consider. And I'm not telling anyone to do this, but if you do it, I have a little link thing in the description, and we each get $25 worth of free tokens. I'm a material girl, and this is a material world, bro. Okay, it's not like I just get it. We get it. Okay, so you click on the link, you set up an Abra account, you deposit some funds. Full disclosure, I have deposited funds on Abra. I did it last week. Now, there will be a snapshot. November 13th. We're not there yet. You have a few days. I don't want anybody to rush into anything, but when they do this snapshot on the 13th, they will use that to determine how much of the CPRX token you will get airdropped. Okay, I don't know what the day is. They said starting maybe the 15th or whatever, but the way I will be gaming it is this. I will deposit on the 12th some currency units, and then I will get the CPRX token, and then I will see when they reset what they're paying. I don't know if Abra is off limits in New York. I'm not sure. You'd have to look at that, Bitcoin Candy. So I'm going to make my account fatter. I'm going to get those tokens that they airdrop, and I'm going to keep them. I'm not going to sell them because of the 15s and 20s and 30x's that these exchange tokens tend to do. The token is going to drop at around a price of 15 cents. I don't know what it will look like over the next year, but my guess is, if history is any judge, probably $1.50 to $3. Again, no one knows. I don't know. No one knows. And yes, you can put BTC into Abra. You can put a variety of assets. I actually put USDC I didn't even put any crypto on there. I put, well, that's technically crypto, but it's a stable coin. I put stable coin on there, and I'm going to be using that stable coin for some other things. But for now, it's on there collecting some yield. It's getting 9%, which I like. I am a fan of 9%. You get the daily rewards. It is super dope. Now, it's a little clunky. When you first get in there, you deposit. It doesn't immediately earn interest like on Nexo. You have to move it to the earn wallet. So there's your trading wallet, because you can trade crypto right on there with very little fees, by the way. So you can trade, which I like. And then but you want to move those tokens to the earn wallet, which is like the second button. Okay. So just so you know, how much do they determine how much CPRX? They're going to take a snapshot on the 13th of November. That snapshot will determine how many tokens you get. Okay. Cool. And guess what? If you're in New York, do you not know any family members anywhere else in the country? Come on, peeps. You guys got to think outside the box. Ain't you know nobody? Ain't you know no family members that don't live where you live? Like, wise up. Opportunity to the bold. Anyway, that's how I'm going to game it. I will leave the tokens on there. Now, they have told me, and I say they, somebody very high up at Abra has told me that Cardano is going to bump up to, they'll be paying 5% plus another 2.5% to 3% in the Perks token on a continual basis. Like, you'll continue to receive excess with the Perks token. So I like that. If you can guarantee me 7 to 8%, even if it's 5% in Cardano in kind, and then another 3% in a token that, if I look at the track record of similar tokens, they do a 10 to 30x, then that means a 10 to 30x on the percentage return, meaning that 3% could be 30 to 90% reward that you're actually getting. Again, I will say that again. A year out, you look back, you were actually getting 30 to 90% reward on a token. And you can collateralize loans against it. So I'm just saying, this is what they're doing, and this is what I'm going to be doing. You can get the Abra account on your phone or laptop. It's always safer laptop. But you can set up, like I set up the account on my phone, and then I access it from the computer. I don't access it from my phone. I actually nuked the app. So you can do whatever you want. So just keep that in mind. That's the way I'm going to do it. You do you. I want everyone to make as many currency units as possible so that everyone on the planet owes me steak. Cool. And with that, I bid you a fond adieu. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk strung on a meth grandmother wouldn't do. And, which is arguably very little.
Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and dropping Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Prophet to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it poppin'. We chillin' in the trap. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket. By any means I rock. This is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.